Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Welcome to today's video where we are back again in the LMP3 at the Red Bull Ring. And as you can see, I am at the back here in the top split race. So it's going to be a bit different today because I'm going to be showing you just how keeping safe and staying consistent with your driving can still net you positions. So we're underway here right off the corner, and the cars ahead are going 2 by 2 almost into turn 1, which is always a recipe for disaster here at the ring. However, it looks like everyone is playing fairly here and getting through clean. Now we'll have to see later on if the GT4 is going to be as lucky, but we're focusing here now on the LMP3s ahead, and turn 2 can be just as bad as turn 1 now. Now we're watching to see, and you can see they're really bunching up ahead, and we've got a car stopped almost right in front of us, so we have to check up.
Car number 23.
Amazingly, everyone gets through that okay. Maybe the odd 4X from a bit of the bumping, but we're still going here. And now once again, turn 3 can be just as bad as the following two. But everyone looks good, except we've got a car off ahead, and there we have left. That's Alexander Delatraz, one of the lead cars, off already. We're going to have to see, as that's not going to be the last time we see him now this race, just how he recovers. And we have another car off to our right there, so I'm going to be a bit careful here with his rejoin. Turning in a bit early.
Car right.
And that's put Tim alongside us here. And this will be a good show of the slippery setup that Remco has put together for me. He is a talented LMP3 setup maker, and that's done the trick as we're into the last two corners. We're ahead of Tim, and he's just settling in to follow behind us. Now we thankfully managed to survive lap 1, so let's have a look at what happened there. So this was Alexander. He's following the lead LMP3 here, right up behind it, and he gets a bit too close and taps the rear, which sends him round. The car in P3 has to take avoiding action, and the GT4s, they only had this major pile up here. As you're going to see, this Porsche loses the rear end and cars are going everywhere, and unfortunately that BMW gets tagged, and we have the Mercedes off, and it just keeps piling up and getting worse from there.
Time was at 1:27.90.
So we'll rejoin the action here on lap 3 a little later. We are right behind Yoz here, just trying to really keep with him, use the strength of my setup in a straight line to put some pressure on him into the braking zones, but being mindful of my weakness here. See, it's all about getting the power down out of that corner, and it looks like Yoz has had a slowdown. That might have been from when he went wide on turn 1, so he gives the position up to us, and now we have free air to try and catch up to Alessio ahead of us.
Car in front of
and
us,
we've got another car off.
Car number 22.
And in the rear view you can see there's been a follow-up to that, so let's see exactly what's happened. So poor Stefan here is going to come off on his own. As you see, he gets on the power a little too early and the car just doesn't like it. And then in the background we've got a second collision there, and that looks like Alexander. A bit of a dodgy rejoin which nearly collects Steven. So we're going to see here Alexander on the recovery drive. He makes a move down the inside of this car, but he's not able to quite make the apex, and it gets stuck together. And unfortunately in that situation there's not much you can do. His trouble, he gets a little tap on the way out. Now one lap later we are catching up to Alessio here. We have got Tim behind us, but he's just following for now. That speed of this setup is really keeping me safe here. Tim's not really able to contest me in these hard braking zones because I'm just too far ahead. And now we can see the temps coming down as I'm catching up to Alessio here. Under braking we are just 2 temps behind him, so if I can nail this exit, though I turn in a bit early, clatter that curb which compromises my exit, but we are still right up behind Alessio here.
Now 0.30.
I'm not going to be close enough for the move, but I'm just going to pressure him. I'm going to show my nose, and he responds. He looks to the inside, and I can just focus on my exit here, and we close up on him. This is nice close racing now. See, the gap is going to close, so I back off here. I'm playing a long game, just trying to pressure him. We've got 2 cars off up ahead, one spinning, he's still going, but we've got a rejoin to our right. And oh no, poor Alessio gets caught by that horrible rejoin. So let's see what's happening here. We can see these two going side by side through this corner, which is very difficult at the best of times. And unfortunately, the car on the inside just doesn't quite turn and leave the space. Now we can see that rejoin coming on ahead, and unfortunately the A pillar on the LMP3 means that poor Alessio just didn't see what was happening. Now pushing through a couple of laps, we had the first of the GT4 traffic, but importantly you can see in our review mirror, Alexander is catching up to us fast. He has phenomenal pace, even with some of the damage he might be suffering from those two previous
Slower
incidents.
cars ahead. These guys are scrapping for position. They might not see you.
I'm just going to have to see here, because I'm not going to expect to hold him off, but I just want to try and consider if I can get him through where I'm going to lose the least amount of time. Catching up to the GT4s here is not going to help that.
Left side, clear left.
I'm going to have to send it down the inside of this Porsche, which is difficult, but I can brake later than he can here. I do go wide with understeer, just not having that front end grip. Now I'm hoping I can get a good exit here, but this BMW makes me have a lift, and we've got Alexander right behind us here. So I'm going to defend to the inside, but he's just too close, so I'm going to brake early here and let him take the lead.
Car left, clear left.
There's a bit close between us, and I collect an off track for my troubles.
Come on man, defend harder. The stewards have warned us for cutting the track.
So what I'm hoping now is that Alexander can help lead the way for me here if I can keep up with him, because he's been phenomenally fast around here, as expected of someone who runs in the esports like he does. But unfortunately I'm not able to quite get it still through turn 1, so I've lost some time to him here, so I'm just going to rely on the slipstream and my setup to try and keep up with him. But as I'm coming into this corner, I know I'm going to get slowed up by this GT4.
The driver in front of us
careful.
is Delatres, car number 3.
Get a bit of wheel spin as well on the exit.
Left side,
and
clear
he's
left.
slowly pulling away from us here.
Ahead is increasing. It's now 0.7.
Just got to hope, but I know this is one of my weaker corners at turn 3. I go a bit wide there. I'm still just about with him. This is one of the problem corners again for this kind of low downforce setup, where the front really needs help to get turned in, and you can see now that Alexander has started to really pull away from us. His technique and his setup really helping him through that corner. Now whilst this car was great and excellent to handle, I'd had to be mindful, because especially through this last sector here, I had to really be on point with my braking in order to get the nose turned in. But we've done just well enough, but Alexander has just done even better, and he just continued to pull away from us as we get onto lap 15 here.
Incident in turn 5. We think it might be
we've got
Conrad.
an incident ahead of us. This is a key point. Watching Conrad here, he's rejoining in front of us, he's getting up to speed, but we should be carrying more than him.
Right.
And indeed we're going to get past him into the last sector, which is good for us. So we're going to have a bit of a battle on our hands here with Conrad. It's going to be right behind us, and I go wide then, I'm later on the power, and now Conrad is coming alongside us.
Still there. Still there.
Being able to get a good exit, and he's right there into turn 1, so I've got to go wide here.
Still there.
But it's all fair between us even there. You can see we're close and very evenly matched.
Hold your line.
I'm hoping I can be ahead into turn 2, but he's just still there, so I'm going to try and brake a little later.
Car right.
Get my turn in just right
He's
there.
Still there.
I'm not good on the power, so we are still side by side.
Still
I was very surprised that we were able to keep it like this for so long, but it's being very fair by Conrad here, leaving me space.
Car right.
Now I'm going to try again round the outside, but I'm understeering heavily, and I touch the gravel, and I get a big wiggle on, which has now left me vulnerable to Aguilas.
Hold your line. Clear right.
I'm just going to try and hold the inside, and Aguilas goes around the outside, but unfortunately for him, the rear end just cannot support his move, and he spins out. That's a shame for him, as he's been doing really well to recover as well from one of those earlier incidents. So One lap later, we are still right behind Conrad here. I'm just trying to keep the pressure on him to try and force a mistake, because I can feel that I might have a chance on him here.
Track limits,
I
watch
turned
those
a bit
lines.
too early there and I'm collecting another off track, and you can see I'm up to nearly 10x here,
car
but
ahead.
I've already committed. I'm going to trade my SR here to try and gain IR and some more championship points. And I can see Conrad's getting held up by this Mercedes ahead. He's going to wiggle on as well, so that's really lost his momentum. I'm going to start putting the pressure on. He's going to defend to the inside.
Car right.
That's going to be very difficult for him with that BMW right in front of him there.
Right side's clear.
I can't see what's happened, but in the rear view mirror you can see he's collected that BMW and sent him off to the Shadow Realm with some terminal damage. Let's have a look what Conrad was doing on the inside. So he's come up behind the BM and he's just made contact, not once but twice. A poor BMW being Matt Malone as well, of all people. So coming on to the last lap, it was fairly uneventful. I just made my way through the last of the GT4 traffic, but I was too far behind the next of the LMP3s. However, I'm still very happy as we're going to come home here in P7. Our consistency and accident avoidance getting us here.
Well done, mate. Good
I know it
finish.
would come at the cost of some of my SR. As you can see, this is the first time ever I have made it to 3K on my road racing license. So I'm very pleased I'm able to compete at this level. Still, that is the end of today's video. I hope you have enjoyed. Please leave a like and subscribe as it really helps me on the channel, and I will see you next time.